listener, it's very expensive to be gay. We all know this, all right? There's a lot of tattoos. There's a lot of poetry books. You're eating healthy, green, sustainable, plant-based. That's expensive. Not to mention all of the dildos. Wouldn't it be great if you had an app and a bank that were connected, that could get you your paycheck ahead of time, that didn't have so many fees, that could help you stay on track with your savings? Well, that exists, listeners. It's Current. And I love that they are battling homophobia by being so technologically advanced that they've made it less expensive for me to be gay. And not only that, for a limited time, we've partnered with Current to give away money for your gay ass. That's right. Current is giving away $200 to 10 lucky podcast listeners in the month of November. All you have to do is download the Current app and enter code GAY during sign up before November 30th for a chance to win. Remember, that's gay during sign up. I know you won't forget. Download the Current app, sign up in less than 2 minutes, and enter gay for a chance to win $200. No purchase is necessary to win. Purchasing won't increase your chances of winning. Void where prohibited. Eligibility restrictions apply. Visit current.com/gay for full terms and conditions. What's up, Bottom Nation? I have some really cool content from our friends over at Wandry to tell you about that I think you might like. Here's a little about it. In the 90s, ads for phone sex lines could be seen everywhere, flickering on late-night cable channels and printed on the back of magazines. Phone sex operators worked around the clock to fulfill fantasies. It all started with an idea from Mike Pardez, CEO and founder of American Telnet, who proudly coined himself the telephone pimp. He was joined by tech genius and co-founder Michael Self, who was known as the Bill Gates of phone sex. But it was the women behind the phones who created the close-knit yet dysfunctional family that turned American Telnet into a multi-billion-dollar company and revolutionized the sex industry. Listener, I'm hooked. If it has to do with straight men getting in trouble and phone sex, you know that I am in. Go follow Operator on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen early and ad-free by subscribing to Wandry Plus in Apple Podcasts or on the Wandry app. Go check it out, listeners.
I'm fucked. Like, I don't want to stay here. It's like 11:30 at night. I was in Astoria. I then call every person I know in New York, who is not that many at this point in time because I don't live in New York. And they're all like, I'm out of town. And I'm like, I don't have anywhere to go. And I'm like a broke college and like, I can't get a hotel room. And then I remember there was a drag queen and had really wanted to fuck me when I went to school. We went back to the drag queen's house and she was like, the only place to sleep is my bed. I got in bed and she was like, you're wearing your jeans. And I went, yeah, sometimes when I'm feeling really sad, it just comforts me to sleep in my jeans. The craziest lie I've ever said in my fucking life. I was like,
What's up, Bottom Nation? Guys, for the next few weeks is going to be pretty crazy on my end. I am recording bonus episodes that are only going to be available on Patreon. I am touring. I'm coming to Chicago. Actually, Kate is coming with me to Chicago, and I'm going to Philadelphia and Bloomington all in November. And as usual, every Sunday in New York City doing my show, ashleygavin.com. And my full-time employee starts in mid-November. So I'm asking you to bear with me. Please listen to these audio notes. Please come and see me live. It is one of the best ways to support me besides the Patreon, which funds all of this shit. So many of you are new donors. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait to get you your free tickets. I can't wait to get you those free bonus episodes. I'm so excited to interact with all of you, give you cameos and all of that stuff. It warms my heart. Like, seriously, thank you so much. And on today's episode, we have one of Kate's closest friends, Jake Cornell. You know him from his viral TikToks. He's an incredible comedian. God, he is so fucking funny. He's about to start a podcast. You can find that information on his Instagram. We do a bonus episode of You're Having Gay Sex, which is going to be on the Patreon. Go check that out. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. He is a very talented podcaster. I loved working with him.
Okay, this is perfect. Yeah.
Okay, the reason that if Jake sounds like a robot compared to the rich, smooth voices of me and Kate right
I'm truly
now,
so sorry.
No, you know what? Yeah, you should be. It is because I left my microphones out and they got covered in cat hair. And Jake is allergic to cats because you're homophobic.
Yeah. It's my least favorite thing about myself.
So we swapped out the mic, but look at what a pro I was. Honestly, I'm going to take all of this, glorify me.
That's a change of pace for you.
Well, otherwise I would have just sucked it up. But by the end, they would have been like, "Is Jake crying?" And I'd be like,
Do you want this pillow out of your way? Let's
"No,
get all
it's
the
fine.
leather."
It's
No,
just
no.
it can't touch my face, and the mic would have touched my face
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But this is fine.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't like when the podcast. So something that I've learned from the listener is that they can pick up on negative vibes.
Yeah, that's like the whole purpose of the show is that you like feel like you're hanging out with people, so you can tell when someone's in a bad fucking mood.
Yeah. So my vibes have not been good
Oh my god.
lately, and like my vibe today is not good, and I don't want the listener to feel like, wow, this podcast has negative vibes, because let's be real, Kate, you are also unwell. Like, we are both.
You're like actually sorry. You're like, the negative vibes, guys. I know you may think it's from me, but Kate is unwell. The negative vibes are from a shared source here.
No, they are though. The vibes are negative and shared. So Jake, what are your vibes
I feel so
today?
good. I'm honestly having a really good week. I've been having like honestly, like I had like some like I honestly have had one of the better weeks in a while.
Oh my
like things are going
God.
well for me.
That's really good.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm so glad to hear it.
That's so great. So like I am getting to
That's so great.
Well, I woke up at 4 a.m. screaming from a bad dream, and then when I couldn't fall back asleep, I told Chelsea that I was afraid of tomorrow.
Oh,
So
and is
I'm-
that something you were conscious of, or was it in the morning? Chelsea was like, "So we need to talk about what you said in the middle of the
No,
night."
that was something I was consciously telling her.
Jesus Christ.
I was performing on stage, and the person didn't like my performance and like accused me of being like inappropriate and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because of
On
like
an X-rated show.
on an X-rated show.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So like there was no crime here.
So
It was
you
a
were-
comedy show.
Did they like accuse like you doing explicit comedy on an X-rated show as like SH?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So
So Ashley's
That-
had quite a...
that happened. Look, I'm just going to put this out there. I have no idea what order this is going to go through. I'm going through like a post-mortem with Jen that is not going any way that I expected it. And it happened while...
Jen's an X.
Yeah,
Okay.
very
The most
important,
recent.
a very important person in my life who I love very, very much, and I don't want anyone to think that like I feel any different way. But it has been very hard. I'm going through it literally on the boat with like no Wi-Fi, and like for the first time in a really long time.
There's no Wi-Fi on Carnival.
There's very little Wi-Fi, so I'm like having to.
I'm so
Also-
sorry.
Also,
How much is a Carnival cruise? If it's more than $11, there needs to be
Dude,
Wi-Fi.
dude, it's-
I'm sorry.
it's not more than $11. That's the thing. This is the thing no one realizes about these cruises. Everyone's like, oh my God, that's so nice. I'm like, no, you don't understand. It is the most extreme form of capitalism, and they're taking advantage of everybody so that these cruises can be like super, super cheap. So, but whatever. The point is, and then last night I got like my period. The point is that I am like not, every time my period comes, I'm like, I got my fucking period? Like I'm shocked.
surprises you?
Yeah, every time I'm like, again?
Because it seems too soon, or just because you don't...
Why should I have to get it so many fucking times? It's so frequent.
I've never experienced it, but I have. That every once in a while, it does give me pause. Where I'm like, wow, a month is so often. Like,
Yeah.
and especially because then I'm like, oh, and there's like a whole situation for a week before and a week after. I'm like, that's 1 week's vacation. Like, and then you're back in it, right? That sounds fucking crazy.
That's my PTO is from my period. It's 1 week of normalcy.
Yeah, so I'm like a fucking bitch right now, just to be perfectly honest. And listener,
Right.
if
But the
you're
negative vibes, those are my fault.
Did something bad happen to you on a cruise this week?
No,
Just life.
I'm here. I'm smiling. I matched my socks to my hat. I'm making an effort.
You're a 12-year-old. All right, so
I once told Ashley that matching my socks to my hat was a femme characteristic, and she said, absolutely no, it's not.
No, it's not. 100% it's not. 100% it's not.
Go.
I will say the dynamic right now is like between the two of you is like neither of you have ever worked in a restaurant.
no.
No, but you probably still experience this. A mom with a child where the mom is having a bad day. So she's like, Billy, shut the fuck up. Like as though Billy's the problem. And everyone's like, that mom is so mad. And Billy literally like goes to salt his food. And she's like, Billy, you're being insane. And it's like,
One time I saw, This reminds me of this story. One time I saw people sitting down at a restaurant, and it was like a big family, and the mother was sitting across from her son, and she asked everyone to change seats, and I quote, "So I don't have to look at him while I eat."
Oh my God. One time
I'm gonna need you to get the long mic cord and go into the bathroom, please.
One time at the restaurant I worked at in college, I was running food to this table and I dropped, I think it was like a spinach quesadilla in front of the mother of the family. Like by dropped I mean place. Like I put it down. It wasn't yeah. I put it in front of her and she was like, I did not order this. And before I could even like be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry or anything, her husband was like, yes, you did. I cannot do this again. I ran from that table. I was like, I cannot be present for the fallout from this.
You're like, I'm not gonna stand here for the back and forth.
No, absolutely not. But like, this man was broken. He was like, I cannot go through this one more time. You ordered the quesadilla.
Unreal. That's unreal.
That sounds like my mom, honestly. Oh, my baby boy getting some sun.
Wow, he is so picturesque.
I know, isn't he gorgeous?
What's his name?
His name's Fletcher. He's the pretty one, but Fulton has the better personality. But look how
There's
big
always
his
one in the family, you know? That's always the shakedown.
I'm the personality one, I think.
in the family.
Yeah.
You're okay. I think Kate, once you get through whatever the fuck you're going through. Once you get out of whatever this weird, I think you're in the depressive hole that I was in 3 years ago.
Okay.
And you're about to have a pretty significant glow up
I hope
internally and externally.
Can I be the gayest person in the room about this?
Yes.
It's your Saturn return.
Thank you.
What we're
need
talking
some
about
of
is your
this.
Saturn return.
I think I'm also having a Saturn return.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
33.
So you're past it. It's 29.
Oh, okay.
So you did have yours.
So
That's
that's
right
what I'm.
around.
That's,
That is
I,
actually
'cause I
right
thought,
around where it all happened.
I was gonna say because I think the 3 years ago, I that's what I thought your age difference was. So
Yeah.
I was like, you're this depressive, like the transformative period you're talking about.
Yeah.
Saturn return.
I
So
really.
everyone has this?
Yeah, because Saturn is in the sky for everyone. So
Wow.
it's when like
Wow.
Everyone
The
has
straight version of this is so he was offsides. Yeah, he was fucking offsides. You fucking dick. You fucking idiot.
I have a bit about how the offsides. I come from a hockey family.
Mm-hmm.
The offsides rule has been explained to me
Oh.
4 times every calendar year for every year I've been on this earth, and I do not fucking
Because
understand
it's
it.
actually a stupid rule. Like it makes no sense.
We used to go to hockey a lot when I was a kid, and like every other thing I would understand, like, oh, that was clearly a foul. Oh, it went out, like whatever.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while it would stop, and I'd be like, why did the game just stop? And they'd be like, offsides. And I'd be like, I could not understand what that meant.
It's funny because for soccer, obviously, I understand what offsides is, and with hockey, I still can't.
Is it
wrap
not the
my brain
same?
around it.
It's the same, right?
It's the same. I thought it had to do more with the lines in hockey.
I'm gonna say.
Does
right,
it not have to do with the
wait,
lines
stop,
in
stop,
soccer?
stop.
No.
I'm cutting this off right now. Okay.
The listeners like go back to the bad vibes. Jesus fucking Christ.
Our listeners have dipped out. They have fucking
They got so
dipped.
we just fucking are edging our listeners, being like a little bit of astrology talk, back to hockey, a little bit more Saturn return, back to soccer. Okay, what is your signs?
I'm a Scorpio sun, Aquarius moon, Capricorn rising.
Oh yeah, you both have birthdays coming up.
November 3rd.
Oh wow! Happy birthday!
Thank
almost.
you.
I'm November 17th.
Okay, little farther out, so I win, but yeah.
The
birthday
meaning you're
contest.
more of a Scorpio than I am.
No, like I get the happy birthday first because my
Yeah.
birthday is sooner to
Sure.
right now.
Yeah.
You seem really into astrology.
Yeah, I got really into it over the past like probably 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
My son, I'm a Scorpio sun, obvi, and then I am a Sagittarius rising and a Libra moon.
I see that for you. Truly, actually.
Yeah.
What are you, Kate?
I only know Aquarius. I asked my mom what time I was born, and she was like, I don't know, ask your father.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, why would he
So
remember it
Aquarius
better than
sun.
you? Aquarius sun, yeah.
I love that for you. Does that mean you're born in February?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
My mom's an Aquarius. She sucks.
Oh
I'm not talking to my mom right now. There's like a lot going on.
Wow.
I'm in a place for sure.
Hold on. I'm in child of divorce.
No, dead dad.
I knew that about you, but I didn't know if it was after. I don't know if I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know if there was a divorce before the death.
No, there probably should have been. But I am just really, dude, some people are going to hear
either this episode, because I literally cannot avoid it, or in a few episodes, like some serious mommy issues talk.
Okay.
Like coming soon.
Okay.
I have serious daddy issues, so I'm here for that. I can empathize with that. My mom and I are great.
That's really nice.
Your mom and you look so much alike.
I know, it is like kind of wild.
Every time I see a picture, I think it's like the sweetest thing I've ever seen of you two together.
That's cute.
It's nice. It is.
We usually introduce ourselves at this point. We're like too late in a podcast.
Totally.
So we introduce ourselves. I'll start. You just basically copy that is way better. You basically just copy the format. I am Ashley Gavin. I am a cis gay white woman. She, her pronouns. I'm gonna be okay. I'm just having a rough time. I want this podcast to be a place of refuge for you, listener, to come and laugh and have a good time. Okay? You will bitch. Enjoy yourself. It's okay that I'm in pain. Sometimes our friends are in pain, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a great time listening to this.
Yeah. Like you were so upset the other night that you bought me the most expensive sushi roll of my life.
Are you serious? That was the most expensive sushi roll of your life?
It was really delicious.
Dude, I'm going to take you somewhere better. Actually, maybe I'll tell that as my story, my gay sex story this week.
Of when you took me on...
When we went on a date.
Yes! Do it!
Oh, wow. I'm excited.
Anyway, I posted a story, but I didn't follow up. As always, my cancel coach to keep me from getting canceled.
Okay.
I have been...
To be clear, that was not me.
I have been watching the cat circle the soundboard this whole time, being like, it is a miracle a sound has not gone off. And then on cancel coach, air horns on Kate.
Can you imagine if I drum rolled my own intro and nobody else's?
You should. Some sort of sports thing. Hockey. For Kate's intro, I usually do like a fun pun that I plan in advance, but I've been working too hard.
Do a hockey one.
A hockey one.
There's like slap shot. Icing. That's another rule I don't really understand.
Puck.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I think of hockey, I think of men punching each other in the face.
Yeah, same.
As always, the cancel coach to keep me from getting canceled. They wish they had the masculinity to punch a dude in the mouth. It's Kate Sisk. That was not. Oh, good. Thank you for the laugh.
Hey, guys. It's me, Kate Sisk, the cancel coach, the fat in the chat. I've only punched a man in the stomach. Not manly enough to go for the face. Let's see. My gender of the week, as brought to you by the listeners, is a handful of sour gummy worms. And I took that to remember a time that I was walking on the street and saw a handful of sour gummy worms on the sidewalk of Brooklyn. And I had to talk myself down from just picking them up and eating them.
Jesus
and I
Christ.
think that that's really a pure distillation of my gender and personality.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, any pronouns, and I'm a white bisexual dyke.
Do you mind introducing yourself?
I don't
Kate?
at all. I just...
Oh, and
Kate said any pronouns,
Oh my
and I
God.
burped hard into the mic.
Oh, that's actually the second burp on the podcast. The first burp is the funniest moment of all time.
it was me. I burped.
And it was
What was so
funny.
inopportune about it?
I was laughing so hard that I
made it-
started coughing and then burped.
Oh my God, just like full bodily event.
Yes.
It was awesome. It was so awesome.
Okay, yes. Let's throw it over.
Yes,
To one of my favorite people, one of my closest
because I didn't
friends.
do a good job.
Okay,
because
yeah.
I've been such a fucking bitch, and I feel very comfortable with Jake. Because
Yeah.
I've met. We're not like friends, but we've.
No, but we do have like a very similar, maybe it's the Scorpio thing. I do feel very dropped in around you. I've never, like, it's very easy.
We've done your old pod together.
From lifetimes ago.
Jake is huge on fucking TikTok.
Yes.
He's huge on Instagram. He is one of the few that had the good pandemic, the blow up.
I'm actually very pro-pandemic.
But I am too. As
Don't
you
wear a
met.
mask, folks. No, I'm just kidding. Let's keep it going.
Honestly, I had the same fear. I was like, if this pandemic ends, am I not going to be famous anymore?
But you were already pretty big, doing really well before the pandemic, I feel.
LOL. That's so nice. Jake, you're a great comedian. You are
Thank you.
soaring into the ether
Thank
of
you.
stardom. Jake Cornell.
Hi. That's it. Jake Cornell, white, cis, gay male, he, him pronouns.
That's great.
Perfect. And you're working on a pod right now, right?
Yeah, I have a podcast coming out, and I think we're hoping it'll come out in November. I was going to say next month, but I didn't know when this was coming out. It's coming out in November. It's called Going Out with Jake Cornell. I have guests on to talk about all things going out, bars, restaurants, nightlife. It's very fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I've had gay sex this week. I have had a bunch of gay sex, like before I went on the cruise, and then
None on the cruise.
none on the cruise, just gay panic, trauma, spiraling for the first time in years and years
Jesus.
and years. And then recovery. I'm in recovery right now, and I had sex this week specifically to just feel like baby, and it didn't really. Here's what I'm going through right now, and I'm writing about in my stand-up. I'm like I just want to be held and seen and validated.
Okay.
And so basically I'm using my sexuality to get me to places where that can like happen.
Okay. So are you someone who's having a lot of sex with a lot of different people, or are you more intimate? Like, okay. But are they, I guess more specifically, is it like one-off, one-night standy type stuff, or do you have a rotation of people you're close with?
I like to create a roster.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
No, I find it fascinating because we all
I
have a
know
different
that
approach.
sounds horrible, but I think
I just can't even make eye contact with you when you're saying it.
I don't think. Wait,
I
can
like to have
say
a
something?
3-person rotation. This is the ideal rotation for me.
Okay.
I will say rotation sounds a lot better than roster.
Not roster. So you want to have someone who's like main on the roster
Uh-huh.
that is more available, that the sex is really, really good.
Yep.
That you can have. But then, main isn't available all the time. And right now,
Totally.
there's no main. Just FYI.
Okay,
There's
that's
no
tough.
main right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to have like other people that come in like less frequently, which is like
Yep.
your once every other weekers or once a monthers
Totally.
that can fill in those gaps for you
Yeah.
on the roster. This all sounds super like clinical or whatever, but I think everyone, when they're having casual sex, has a way that they like to do it. I'm just so fucking data driven that I have actually like in my brain as a former computer scientist, like literally figured out the math of it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a big formulas person.
I don't think there's anything wrong with this. And I think as long as you're communicating to everyone on the roster that they're on a roster.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If anyone on the roster thinks that
She
they're...
is. She is.
And I
I
am.
know, and I know you are because you wouldn't do it.
They're also like listening to this.
Right, absolutely.
Like,
Oh, sorry. I just found out that everyone on the roster is a fan of your podcast. I'm
no,
this is so unacceptable now.
No. But of course, when people find out about it, they want to listen.
Oh, of course.
So like I have to have total transparency with literally I have no privacy left. But yeah, I've been having gay sex. My roster is shit. I have a couple things that I could talk about. I took Kate on a date. I made a girl laugh during an orgasm. That was pretty fucking cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Did you like tickle her? Like what happened?
Here's the thing. I always try to tickle girls and they never let me. Why won't they let me tickle them? Why won't they let me tickle them in bed?
Because I feel like there's nothing less sexual than someone being like, like if someone did that while we were having sex, I'd be like,
what if I say
it's
Gucci goo while I do it?
Oh my gosh.
I can't say Gucci
Literally,
goo.
no. For some reason, when you said I
Gucci
tried to
goo.
tickle girls in bed, all I could think of was Cookie Monster from Sesame Street.
oh my God.
And I don't know why, because Elmo is the tickle one, but
The commenters on TikTok would be like, that's actually a trauma response.
what does that say about me?
You can pick.
I get to pick which story that
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah.
about. I'm curious about this date.
Oh, with Kate?
Yeah.
So, look, this is going to be a sciencey episode. Every listener, I need you to hear this. I used to be a computer scientist. I worked at MIT. I keep data on all my jokes. I keep spreadsheets of everything.
Holy shit. We are opposites.
I need you to hear that, okay, listener? When you hear me say, like, roster, no, it sounds so clinical. That is not the way I treat people's emotions. That's not the way I treat people. It's just the way my brain organizes information.
Do you have an Excel spreadsheet with the roster and
No.
how many times you've made them come?
No, of course not.
After they come, she's like, okay, I need your Apple Watch download. Like, they have to like tap in their vitals.
Of course not.
Okay.
But when I'm thinking about my time, which is extremely limited, it's nice to think about it in terms of like, who's the person that I'm most compatible with for this period of my life, and like, who are other people that I am compatible with, but our schedules don't line up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's sort of how it is with this quote unquote roster rotation, whatever you want to call it.
Totally.
Keep that in mind that I'm just a really data driven person and this is how I approach the world. I took Kate on a date that I've taken other women on.
Incredible.
I didn't mean for it to be that. I live in a great date neighborhood.
You do.
So Kate and I record a pod. We're both having a rough time. I'm like, hey, let's go get dinner. You know, and then.
And I'm like curling my hair behind my ear like, okay.
So the neighborhood I live in, I live near the Seaport, which has a bunch of restaurants, cobblestone.
They all close at 9, but otherwise they're great. Don't you feel like all the
That's
restaurants
not true.
downtown close really early?
The Suteshi does close at 10 p.m.
That's 9 for New York.
And there's a tacos place, there's a sushi place, there's a couple other places, but tacos and sushi are the ones that the girls always want to do. So we're walking through the Seaport, and the girl in this case is Kate. The boy. I'm on a date with this boy.
You're on a straight date.
I'm on a straight date with Kate.
Oh my God.
We're walking through. I go, what kind do you want? No. As soon as I say sushi, your face lit up.
It did.
And I was like, let's go get sushi.
Amazing.
So we go to the sushi place.
And I was like, should I leave my bag here or?
So we go to the sushi place, and I like the sushi place for a date because you can see the Brooklyn Bridge, and I always let the girl sit in the seat where you can see the Brooklyn.
You did!
Oh my God.
Wow, I didn't realize how specific the details of this were.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. I've lived in this neighborhood for 6 years.
Yeah.
How am I not going to go on a date to this sushi place a couple times?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, I will say, listener, if you're like, this is so calculated, if you live in a small town, you have gone to the date place
Right.
so many times.
No, as someone who worked in restaurants for 10 years, I had regulars who this was their first date spot, and I watched them go on
You gotta have a
countless
first date
first
spot.
dates. It's not, I don't think it's that abnormal of a behavior.
Okay, good, because I'm feeling
Did you
guilty.
ever have a regular where you were like, you could date me if you want it?
No, but there was one that I started a rumor with. I was like, I think he's killing the women. He just had this really weird serial killer energy, and I used to be like, do you think he kills them? Like, he just always has a new there was something about him that always I found chilling. And the one time I found it the most chilling was when one time there was a woman, he never drank, which I wouldn't say is a red flag, but then I plugged that fact into my killer theory, and he's like, well, yeah, he has to stay sharp for the kill. Like, you know what I mean? Like he has to be on his
everything
toes.
when you're looking
Or
through
he has
murder-colored
to
glasses.
stay sober
No,
so that he doesn't kill another woman.
More realistically, it probably was like just a sober person. But then one time there was a woman who, I don't know if she like pushed him or like, there was one time when he ordered a beer, and I was like, oh wow, he ordered a beer. Like he never orders beer.
Yeah.
This guy came into this restaurant a lot. The whole dinner, he just kept picking up the beer and pouring it to his lips and putting it back down and like not taking sips.
I wonder if he's sober and maybe she was pushy and he just wanted to get through the date.
Yes, but wouldn't you think at that point you would just be like, I'm sober? Like, it was
Maybe-
the only time.
Did he eat the food?
That was the other thing, is sometimes he didn't really eat the food either.
Maybe he's not human.
That's it.
Maybe he's like an alien or a robot or something, and he was like just putting the stuff to his mouth and putting it back down.
The thing is, this guy was
Maybe
never
he
like.
was me. Maybe I am a robot. I have mentioned several times I don't drink. Maybe I just keep data and I just go.
Are you sober?
I'm like a sim. You're like, it's just like he's like a sim. He's got like the little thing above his head.
And every clue
I am.
is that.
I don't drink. I'm not sober, but I've never drank. I guess I am technically sober, but I am not like a recover. I'm not in recovery.
Gotcha.
Well, we have dinner. I pay.
Yeah, you did.
What was in this sushi roll that it sounds like cost $100?
It was not. It's
It was a good roll. It was like a
It's a good
dragon
sushi
roll or
place.
something. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
It had like 2 different kinds of salmon in one roll.
It sounds fancy.
And then I tried your roll, which had banana in it.
No.
they gave me.
It was an experience.
I had never had it
Hard
before.
no
The
for me.
waiter
The
recommended
waiter
it.
really pushed it.
And was it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we walk out.
At that point, the sun is down. The twinkly lights are on. I'm like, should we get ice cream? Which I always offer. Very wholesome and fun.
Can I ask, are you at this point like
Trying to fuck Kate? I am.
no, that's not what I was gonna ask.
Am I straight now? Yeah.
Like, are you knowingly being like, I'm on the date, or are you kind of like, oh wait, I've done this before? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know that you're repeating the date?
You said at one point,
I
this
did
is the
mention
date.
it. This is the date.
The date.
And this is actually the second date that we've done because we have done the tacos.
Oh, we've done the tacos?
Wow. Wow.
And that one was really romantic because there was this huge storm. Brewing,
that's right.
and it was like gonna like rain, and Ashley was like, "Quick, let's run back to my place."
Oh my
and
God.
we were like sprinting through the cobblestones like as the rain was coming and the thunder was booming, and then I didn't end up coming back inside because
We're not
dating.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day,
But there was this moment where we were both standing in the rain, and then I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go home. Bye." But you did on our way to ice cream. You were like, "Look at all the twinkling lights."
I love this idea of you going through the whole date being like super femme, like, and then like to break the tension at the end, just reverting to an absolute gremlin, being like,
There actually was a moment like that where you're like, do you want to like go get ice cream? And we were like inside the ice cream store, and I was like, I actually already had ice cream today.
I'm already kind of farty from the early one.
Too much for me in one day.
Well, I got ice cream. But yeah, and then usually we didn't, but then I'll walk to the pier if she wants to walk. Look, it's not actually this calculated. Like what this actually is that I live in a nice neighborhood and it's fun.
Yeah.
I live in a fun neighborhood.
No, you live in a fun area.
Yeah, and so it's like fun to do all these different things. But yeah, but I did not invite Kate back to my apartment. I came back myself and had a real good cry.
Oh.
Real good cry.
Damn.
And then I think I watched The Bachelor.
That sounds like
Bachelorette.
you.
And that is my gay sex from this week. I did, though, to be fair, because we were in the date motif,
Yeah.
I was like thinking like, what would a date with Kate feel like? I was really trying to imagine myself being who I am, dating like someone pretty butch.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like
Do you always go for femme girls?
very femme.
Okay.
And I was like, it kind of like opened my mind a little bit.
Okay.
Wait, can I ask a question that I've never really thought about before, but I'm really curious about?
Yeah.
It is oftentimes like frowned upon in the gay community, gay men who are only into like mask men.
There's a little bit of frowning at femme for femme. But I don't know that
But there's not like butch for femme.
Oh, people.
Like, I'm just curious. I feel like it is just generally like, because it is fucked up to be like, I'm only into masculine.
And
men,
let me
right?
be clear.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. I think date whoever you want to date. If you're femme and you are into femme people, like there should be no like. I think whoever you're into, be into, and that is totally fine. That's like my stance.
I agree with it. I think it's just like, I think when people, obviously like there's like the toxic thing on Grindr of being like, you know, mask only, like all that like
Yeah.
sort of exclusive stuff. And people are like, okay, well that's internalized homophobia, right? I
Yeah.
guess I'm just curious if like in the lesbian communities, it is often framed as like, if you're only into femme girls, that's internalized homophobia as well. Do you know what I mean?
it's specifically the equivalent of like mask for mask. Like we are men, we are not gays.
Fags.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what Ashley's talking about, is this specifically like
Femmes for femmes.
femme for femme.
I think also-
like we're real women kind of thing. But also,
I don't think
that's
it's
much more rare than it is in the
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I don't think
male
it. I don't think it
community.
happens much. I also think that there's some like lesbians will like frown on like super like hetero appearing lesbian couples and be like murmur, like you guys are just like. But I think it's like nothing compared to what happens in the gay male community.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I just had never thought about that before, and it was very
I think
interesting to me.
It's nice to be a queer woman or like an AFAB person. I think there's like a lot of freedom around like expression
Yeah.
and who you can date.
I think there's obviously like there's a point at which like the expression of masculinity can get toxic, but that seems more like an individual thing and less like
yes, a partner,
like a sex or relationship
Yeah.
thing. It's just like, oh, like you can be butch without being toxic. Like
I think there's a lot of like
Settle
I think there's like a lot
Totally.
of also straight girl stuff. Like,
Oh,
she just wants like a straight girl and she's into straight girls and stuff like that. I think that happens sometimes.
But
and
that's a
that can get a little
problem.
problematic.
That's like a you need to go to therapy. If
Yeah,
you're
that's like an
dealing with
issue.
Unavailable.
Okay, well, let's not. Okay. Well, let's.
Having been there.
Some of us have dated some straight girls.
Having been there.
Those girls are whatever. Okay, so
No, as someone, wait, sorry. Now I have like a million questions. 'Cause
Go
I'm
on.
also curious about this.
this is totally off the rails. So we got to figure out some way to
To get
tie it
back?
all together.
No,
Let's
okay,
get as much
I'm coming back to
content as
dating,
we
but like,
can.
okay, you as someone with a roster, when you actually get a girlfriend, are you monogamous?
Yes,
Okay.
I feel like when I'm not dating, I'm like the most. There's no in between for me. When I'm just like having sex, there's like total openness, no jealousy, just total freedom. I let them know exactly where I'm at. I'm like, you can do whatever you want, like
Because I'm doing whatever I want.
doing whatever I want. I don't say it so callously.
Totally.
I'm like, this is where I'm at. I'm not ready to be in a relationship. I'm not a one night stand person, but also like I'm not looking to have like a pseudo relationship.
Right.
Like I'm like super open about it.
yeah, which I think is really healthy.
But then when I'm dating someone, like I really like to be monogamous. Like
Okay.
I don't have like room in my heart for. I'm sad again.
I'm sorry. I keep on asking questions that unexpectedly make Ashley cry because I don't know quite enough information to dodge the potholes of emotions.
There's so many emotions, bro. So many feelings. Anyway, so I did not bring Kate home. She did not fuck me with her massive strap on. I did not get to be baby.
Well, that's something I've actually been thinking about. I know it's a mommy issue, so the femmer the person making you baby,
Oh, no.
the closer
Oh,
that
no.
is to
Oh,
mommy
no.
stuff.
Oh no.
But
Oh,
if
no.
you want to be baby, you should go out with a butch.
No, I don't. No. No.
Ashley's like, we're not touching
I
this.
don't-
Like, absolutely not.
I don't want a daddy. I want a mommy.
Okay.
Dude, like, I'm so,
I really thought she was going to say, I'm not even gay. The thing is, I'm not even fucking gay. I was going to be like, what the fuck are we doing?
I'm not even gay. I just have severe mommy issues and I'm trying to date women to like cure them.
Woof.
That's why I'm gay.
Not even gay.
I'm not even gay. No, Jake, I'm super ready to have a wife. This is the first time in my life where I don't want someone where I'm doing all the work, where I'm taking care of them.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just got a taste of it and now you don't have it.
Yeah.
As painful as that is, you wouldn't be able, I think you wouldn't have made the analysis of what you just said about your other relationships, about how you're the constant caregiver,
Yeah.
had you not finally experienced
Totally.
the
And
opposite.
even
And that's
with,
a gift.
Even with
Yeah.
Jen,
Yeah.
I think what I'm struggling at this point is I'm realizing she was not ready to give that to me totally.
Mm-hmm.
She had pieces of it. She's like a wonderful, amazing woman.
Yep.
I love her so much. She is going to be a great partner to someone someday, but today is not that day.
Right.
And I've like learned that.
That also sucks because there's nothing you can do about that.
There's nothing I can do except fuck people into a state of oblivion, like just like oblivion. And then be like, okay, now that I've done a good job, can you like love me? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm making girls come like 8 times and then being like, please let me be the little spoon, please.
Oh my God.
Please. Haven't I done
I
enough?
just have this image
And that's
of being at your wedding and you're at the altar and the wife comes into like the aisle from the back of the church and it's so clear that she's just come so many times she can't even think and she's just like moving down the aisle. I'm like, I don't think she's consenting to this marriage of sound mind. Like she's just like,
dude, I made this girl come 9 times the other night and I was just like so ready to be baby and I did
And
not
she fell asleep. I mean, what else are you gonna do after you come 9 times?
maybe I need to put in less effort.
maybe there's a sweet spot. Like maybe it's 4 times. Like
You're like, can I be baby? And she's like, can I go to the hospital? You're like, can I have a hug? She's like, can I have an ice pack? My clit is swollen.
She did tell me she was sore on the airplane. She was like every time we hit turbulence.
Oh my God.
It was so cool.
It was so
But this is the dichotomy of who I am. I am both a mom. I'm Kyle and Kyle's mom.
Who's Kyle?
My 12-year-old alter ego.
Oh.
Okay, but anyway, that's my gay sex from this week. We've been recording for an hour. Hey guys, a quick plug for ways to support me and Kate. Follow us on Instagram, rate and review this podcast, share it with a friend, come to a live show. I'm coming to Philadelphia, Chicago, Bloomington, Indiana, all in November. And this podcast is primarily funded by Patreon, patreon.com/WHGS. Primarily is not even the word. It is vastly funded. It is almost entirely funded by the Patreon. It helps so much. It is so much more cost effective than ads. Please go and get the perks of that, which include ad-free episodes and bonus episodes. Oh, and Kate has a show coming up on December 9th, so go check out Kate's Instagram for information on that. Thanks for listening, guys. Listener, as I said, it's very expensive to be gay. Every time you go through a breakup, not only are you doing a full move into another apartment, but you need a whole new closet full of straps. So we need all the financial help that we can get, which is why I'm so glad to be working with Current. I love the Current app. It is the future of banking, where you can send, spend, save, and manage your money all from your phone. Current's app and connected debit card help you get ahead by faster access to your paychecks, fewer fees, more flexibility. You can get paid up to 2 days faster on direct deposits. That means if you need to move in a hurry, got to go rent a U-Haul, you have that cash available to you. There's no overdraft fees up to $100, so you never have to feel embarrassed on a gay date where you're trying to pay that pet adoption fee in front of your new sweetie. You earn points on every swipe. There are tons of ATMs, and there's helpful insights about your spending in case you're saving up to acquire the lumber to build your new porch. And for a limited time, we've partnered with Current to give away money. That's right. Current is giving away money. They are giving you money, listener. $200 go to 10 lucky podcast listeners in the month of November, and all you have to do is go and download the Current app and enter code GAY during sign up before November 30th for a chance to win that $200. Put it towards whatever you want. Your new cabinets, your sage, all that sage that you gotta burn, a tattoo of your dead cat's paws. I don't know what you're doing. You spend it on whatever gay thing you want. Remember, that's gay during sign up. Download the Current app. Sign up in less than 2 minutes. Enter code GAY for a chance to win $200. No purchase is necessary to win. Purchase won't increase your chances of winning. Void where prohibited. Eligibility restrictions apply. Visit current.com/gay for full terms and conditions. Listener, I know you're a little freak. You love this sexy, sexy content, and I've got some new sexy, sexy content from our friends at Wandry called Operator. In the 90s, ads for phone sex lines could be seen everywhere, flickering on late-night cable channels and printed on the back of magazines. Phone sex operators worked around the clock to fulfill fantasies. It all started with an idea from Mike Pardez, CEO and founder of American Telnet, who proudly coined himself the telephone pimp. He was joined by tech genius and co-founder Michael Self, who was known as the Bill Gates of phone sex. But it was the women behind the phones who created the close-knit yet dysfunctional family that turned American Telnet into a multi-billion-dollar company and revolutionized the sex industry. As fortunes grew, the founders were sailing lavish yachts, fueling wild drug parties, and burning through cash by the minute, and the FBI was watching their every move. Wandry and Topic Studios' new podcast, Operator, is the untold story of a company which dominated the phone sex industry until the money blinded them and it all came crashing down. Listener, it's got it all. Sex, drugs, and the failure of men. What more could you be looking for? I know it's piqued my interest. I've got it on my little to-do list. I can't wait for it to come out. Go follow Operator on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen early and ad-free by subscribing to Wandry Plus in Apple Podcasts or on the Wandry app. Go check it out, listeners. Listener, I'm coming in hot post-orgasm. Yes, this is the sound of my voice coming to you, having just come. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I just used Fouria's Awaken Arousal Oil, and this shit works. If you don't know anything about Fouria is using all natural and plant-based ingredients to intensify sexual pleasure and relieve discomfort. I literally just used it, and I can tell you right now, like, it turns you on. It gives you this warming sensation and kind of like a little bit of tingling. It feels really, really good. It made everything feel stronger and more intense, and my orgasm felt just very smooth and pure. It like lasted longer. It's really great stuff. It also smells really good. It kind of reminds me of the smell of this chemistry teacher that I had in the 10th grade who I wanted to fuck but also wanted her to adopt me. It kind of smells like if you could fuck a chai latte. Best of all, Awaken just turns you on, and having just done it, I can say that's definitely for sure. I did like a bunch of activities to kind of purposely turn me off before this. I was cleaning my apartment, I took out the cat litter, and then I came immediately. So yes, Bottom Nation, you have my permission to try this, okay? I fully endorse you to go ahead and treat yourself to more, deeper, fuller pleasure wherever you can find it as often as possible. And you can start with a bottle of Fouria. Fouria is offering a special deal for our listeners, you will simp bitch. So go get your 20% off your first order by visiting FouriaWellness.com/Ashley or use code Ashley at checkout. That's Fouria, F-O-R-I-A, wellness.com/Ashley for 20% off your first order. I personally recommend trying their Awaken Arousal Oil and Sex Oil. You will thank me later, listener. Jake, did you have gay sex this week?
I don't think I did. I don't think I have.
That's great because we're out of time. Oh, please come back.
Are we? This is actually the end?
No,
Oh.
but I'm saying like, please come back.
No,
When Ashley's having a good time during an episode, she'll say, please come back. And the person almost always thinks that we're done.
Yeah, it's objectively said as though it is. Like, well, please come back. Like,
You're like, I didn't even get to plug my podcast.
I've had a very busy work week, so I don't think I've had time to have gay sex this week.
Yeah.
Is this an opportunity to tell a story from the past?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
you want to
yeah,
do a
yeah.
finger blast from the past?
Yeah.
That's Kate's creation, by the way. Credit where credit is due. This improviser actually got a good punchline in there.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm very sorry.
damn. Roasted.
I'm sorry, that was stupid. That was really dumb.
Call me Hazelnut because I have been roasted. Is that? I don't drink coffee. I shouldn't have tread in that territory if I didn't know.
Chestnuts are the ones that get roasted.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? I was on the train right here, and I was like trying to think of like a funny sex story.
Yes.
And then I got really self-conscious about being like, not that much of my sex has been funny. Like,
That's
honestly,
okay. I feel that way too because I've been having such great sex lately. It's like kind of hard to make jokes about.
Yeah, totally. I feel like most of my sex is not that funny, but then I remember this one time. This is like an almost sex story.
Okay.
It doesn't have to even be
Which
sex.
is
It
like-
can be like a date.
Okay, so I lived in England when I was 19. I lived there for a year, and it was like an amazing time, and it was kind of like my.
Just say study abroad.
But I didn't go to
Stop
school.
trying to. Okay, all right.
I bartended the whole time, and like
Yeah, he lived
used
there.
a fake. I used like a student visa to move to England and not go to school and bartend for a year.
Oh wow.
And
Edgy. How edgy
And
of you.
if UVM finds out about it, they like within their rights could revoke my degree because it's true.
Wait, UVM thinks that you did a semester there?
Yeah. No, they think I did a full year there.
How did you do that? You graduated college without all this without all.
So what happened was
Should we bleep UVM?
No, they know my name. Like, you'd have to bleep me. Like, UVM knows I went there.
Josh Carnell.
No, so basically, I've talked about this on other shows. Like, it's out there. Also, like, what are they going to do? Take away my film theory degree? Oh, fuck. Imagine my agents drop me because they're like, well, UVM revoked your degree. Like,
Yeah, there are no consequences at this
There's
point.
truly no consequence. I've never
Would
used
you
that
have to
degree.
pay your student debt if you had your...
I mean, I still have to pay it with my degree. I don't think they're going to take it back. If you'll take away my student debt, UVM, take the fucking degree back.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
Can I return this?
I went there intending to study abroad. And when I got there, I found out that I didn't have to go to class, that it was pass fail, and that there was just tests at the end of the year for each class. And so I was like, oh, then I'm not going to go to school. I'm going to get a bartending job and just like live.
I love that.
The confidence that you had that you thought you were going to pass your classes without going to class.
I'm a test taker. I was like, oh, I'll just study for everything at the end and I'll be fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so the opposite.
And so
I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, if you had been like write a paper every week, I'd be like, I have to go back to America. Like, there's no option. Like, so yes, I was studying abroad there, but like I was also like, I went to class maybe less than 10 times. So I was bartending there, was hanging out with friends. I was also like, I was living in Vermont before that where there was no gay people, and I like had dated one person because they were the other gay person around me. And then I moved to Brighton, which is considered like the gay capital of England. So I was like in the gay bars every night. I was just like living my gay life. It was really amazing.
That's awesome.
That's special.
But then at the end of the year I had to do all the schoolwork, and I failed one of the tests. It was tests and essays. One of the essays, I thought I got the date wrong, so I had to hand it in late, and then they were like, "You're not allowed to hand it in late." So I failed 2 of the classes.
This is like
And
the
I
thing
also-
with having gone to a liberal arts college, like, and then studied abroad at University of Hong Kong, which is like just an enormous university. Like, you can't like do that. You can't. That was the first time in my life where I was like, oh, I can't explain this situation.
Yeah,
using
no, they were like, this is
flowery language and like my personal experience.
totally.
It's just like the total like white privilege of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yes, 100%. And like, so there was a discrepancy between those 2 schools about what a full course load was. So UVM was like, you have to take 30 credits of classes, which is like what, like 10 classes over the course of a year. In England, a full course load was like 4 classes the whole year. So I like took 4 classes the entire year I was there, failed, I think 1 or 2 of them, and then went back to America and was like, I'm gonna get in trouble. And then I waited like 6 months to call. I was like, I might as well get credit for the 2 classes I did pass in England.
Yeah.
Because what I was thinking was like, I was gonna try to just double up on my course load for the rest of the time I was in college, and I would like barely scrape by. And then I called the credit transfer office and I was like, hey, I need to like go over my study abroad stuff from last year. And they were like, well, there's already 30 credits on your transcript from it. Do you want to get more? And I was like, no, that sounds good. And I just like hung up the phone.
The red tape saved you.
What happened was I figured out what it was because I was like, I left the school for a year, but I technically didn't. Like, I was a student. They put like a full course load in the system to like keep me enrolled.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that became permanent.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
And I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, I am a douchebag who says I lived in England instead of I studied abroad, but I don't really feel like I studied abroad.
I think the working aspect of it to me changes it.
I had a full-time job and friends and like a drinking problem. I was doing a full life. Like I was like having a lot of sex.
So you were immersed in the culture.
Yeah. What sucks is that this story does not take place in England. It's just where I met the guy.
Okay.
But the last week I was in England, I met this guy, and like England was a really weird time because like I was dating for the first time. Like I'd had a boyfriend in high school, but like again, it was just like the other gay guy in my county. We did not
Did you
even
even
go to the
get
same-
along?
We're like so different that like I mean we got along like we went, but like we also just like there was no way we were ever gonna stay together. Like we want like opposite lives.
Yeah.
And suddenly I was in England and I was like dating all these people, and I would like fall for boys, and then like we would break up or whatever, and I was also just being like a huge slut. But it also felt weird because I was like I couldn't actually date because I knew I had to leave at the end of the year. So I was like, what's the point of like dating? But I would like get feelings for someone and then like have to stop seeing them because I like it was just like complicated.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year I met an American guy who was visiting, and he was also like older, which red flag. I was 19, I think he was 25, so it's like we're fine. But like I think I just had spent such a year like emotionally stunted. Suddenly I was like, oh wait, we'll both be in America, like I could have feelings for you and it would go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I felt really intense for him really fast, and I was also just young. And then I moved back to America. I moved back to Burlington to finish UVM, and
I love that this is actually how you talk.
Oh my god.
The whole time.
It's out of frame, so they can't even see that it's like so limp-wristed.
The whole time. No, please don't stop.
Okay.
I love that.
So
is
then,
that is organically who you are. No one
it's
told you to
gesticulating
do it.
like so high.
It's the most boring part of the story. You're
Absolutely.
Like, anyway, I got on a plane.
Yeah.
That was like a TSA
the thing
line
is,
was
this
so
feels
long.
physically so comfortable to me. Like this is actually more comfortable than this to me. So I go back.
Be who you are.
I go back to America, and so I start basically dating this guy long distance. But it was like we weren't actually in a relationship. We would like not talk at all when we were apart, but then every like 6 weeks I would go see him in New York for like a week. And when we were together, it felt like I had a boyfriend, and then I would go back to Vermont and we like wouldn't speak at all again until
Is he American?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was, I think he was just like a younger person. He was like I don't think in a great place mentally maybe, and like maybe struggling with like depression or something. And like I was this like fun young guy who would show up and like he would have a fun week with.
Yeah.
And then for me, it was the opposite, where like I really felt college, especially when I got back from England, felt like these 2 years of like nothingness I had to get through because I knew I wanted to be a comedian. I knew I wanted to be an actor. I was going to UVM because it was like the only school I could afford. So I was just like in Burlington, and like I kind of let myself think like you can't do comedy here. You can't do it. I should have been doing more shit to get my career going there than I was. And so I just kind of felt like I was like waiting for time to pass.
Yeah.
And I knew I was moving to New York when I finished. So then I would go see him in New York.
And
that
he had a
felt
life
like,
there, and he felt older and
so I was like
established.
super hardcore into him.
Yeah.
And so I told him one time, I was like,
I feel like I'm seeing my life from the other side right now. Just FYI.
oh no. Wait, how is it that I just keep on mourning Ashley emotionally?
I don't actually think so. I think it's literally anything.
No, I know because I'm so fucking sad. But I will say, never mind.
the
Keep
different
going.
stages of life.
The
thing,
different
yeah,
stage
yeah.
of life thing, the fact that it's like this established person in New York and
Yeah.
you want to be in the arts, but you're like not there yet.
I mean, yeah,
And
he
you're
wasn't
like-
in the arts. Thank God. He was truly an accountant. But
No wonder he was depressed.
I
More
know,
than a fucking
right?
19-year-old. Honestly, if
I
I
know.
if I were an accountant, I'd fuck a 19-year-old boy.
so I would go visit him, and then so basically what happened was like, and we would both see other people, but when I saw other people in Burlington, I was like, I would always compare them to him, and I was like not into them as much as I was into him. And I don't think I was even that into him. I was into like the idea of him and like
Yeah.
New York and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then there was this one time I went to go see him, and I found out that he was like he had just like seen someone else like pretty seriously, and I didn't know about it.
Oh.
I like had a conversation with him where I was like, look, like I feel fucked up about this. Like, what are we doing? Where are we at?
Yeah.
And we had been like out drinking that night or whatever. So we came home, we were like we had a few drinks or whatever. And he was like, me and that guy aren't together anymore. And like, if you were in New York, like we would be together, and I want to be with you. And like we had this whole big conversation. I was
Wow.
like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So then so then it was just
Lies.
like and then like a month or two later, me and my friends that I moved to New York with decided officially like in June, we are moving to New York City. Like once we graduate college, like we're coming to New York.
It's exciting.
And so I went down to visit him with the intention of being like, hey, so now it's happening. Like this
Yeah.
is what's happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so nervous, and I got to his apartment.
Oh no.
The bus I took from Burlington, New York, like broke down on the way there. I got to his
Oh.
apartment like 6 hours late. I haven't thought about this guy or this story in so long, and I'm remembering details that are so funny. I remember I got to his apartment so late, walked in, he was sitting on the couch smoking a bowl and watching The Goldbergs, and I was like, this is over. Like, I was like, that's an omen. And I remember I sat down and I just was like, I can't like do any part of this trip like in this gray area of like, what are we gonna do? So I
Yeah.
just was like, immediately needed to have the conversation. And I was like, look, I'm moving to New York in 3 months. I want to be with you. Like, what's the deal? And
Yeah.
he was like, I have a boyfriend, and you should not be expecting that. And I was like,
So he was lying before?
I think that they had maybe been like not serious and then I don't really know.
Oh no.
I truly don't even know, because then I went like, oh, okay. What about the conversation we had the last time I was here? And
Yeah.
he was like, what conversation?
Gaslighting!
Yeah. And I was like, and I like told him what he said, and he was like, I don't really remember that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk.
How severe is his weed use?
Not that severe. I really don't know.
Is he an alcoholic?
No,
what
I don't
the-
think so. I mean, I don't know him at all anymore. I also like never really knew him. Do you know what I mean? Like he
Yeah,
was just this guy
right.
that I put all this stuff on.
Right.
But so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk right now. And I just like left his apartment.
Oh my god,
and
that's
I
so fucking. I'm
called,
so
like,
sorry that happened to you.
Oh my god, I'm literally fine. But the funny part, we're getting to the fun part, I promise, which is that I call my best friend, and I'm like, I'm fucked. Like, I don't want to stay here. It's like 11:30 at night. I was in Astoria.
I'm so sorry.
That's the worst part of the story.
so
That's
sorry.
the worst fucking part
No
of the story.
matter where you're going, it's a fucking trip.
Wait, I just remembered another story about this guy that's actually so funny that can tell after there's time.
Yes,
There's no
yes.
time. We've been recording for 3 hours.
We'll do a bonus
make it
episode.
double.
So I then call every person I know in New York, who is not that many at this point in time because I don't live in New York, and they're all like, I'm out of town. And I'm like, I don't have anywhere to go. And I'm like a broke college student, like I can't get a hotel room. And then I remember that there was a drag queen or someone who had gone to UVM, who had graduated the year before me, who lived in New York now, was a drag queen and had really wanted to fuck me when I went to school.
This truly sounds like a contrived setup to a movie where
I
you're like,
know.
I called 10 people and they were all out of town, but the drag queen was waiting.
and then I called this drag queen and I was like, hey, are you like in town tonight? And they were like, yeah, I'm working. Like, what are you up to? And I was like, I was here to visit a guy, and like it did not go well, and like I kind of need a place to stay. And he was like, she was like, I'm working tonight till 4 a.m., but you're welcome to stay with me if you are willing to stay at the club till 4 a.m. when I'm finished working. And I was like, well, I don't have a choice. And I was like,
So
I
in a
show
way,
up to the
you're
Ritz.
making this drag queen come 8 times.
So that
the thing
you
was,
can
I was
curl
like,
up and be baby.
I was like, I'm not having sex with this person. Like
No, but you're watching them do drag till 4 in the morning.
know.
Like this is.
I was like, I don't want to have sex
And
with
let
this
me
person.
be clear, like this could not possibly be a good show.
No, it actually was. Peppermint was on it before she got famous. It was
Oh,
the
cool.
other drag queen that night was Peppermint.
Oh, damn.
But it was a great show. But I showed up to the Ritz in Hell's Kitchen with 3 duffel bags because I had come for like
Yeah.
a long time. I showed up with like all this luggage and I was like, can I code check this? And they were like, why are you here? Like with this shit. And I stayed till 4 in the morning. And we went back to the drag queen's house and like she really wanted to and she was like, the only place to sleep is my bed. And I was like, great. And then I got in bed and she was like, you're wearing your jeans. And I went, yeah, sometimes when I'm feeling really sad, it just comforts me to sleep in my jeans. The craziest lie I've ever said in my fucking life. I was like, and like, I almost wanted to immediately apologize and be like, I'm sorry. Like the audacity to even think you would remotely believe that is so rude. But like, I couldn't.
It's like an insult
And
to
she was
both of
just
your
like,
intelligence.
literally, it's so unbelievable. And she literally was like, okay. And then we like went to bed. And then I woke up in the morning, and then there were no buses to Burlington. I had to call my friend who lives in Worcester, Massachusetts, and be like,
Oh
can I
my
come stay with
God.
you for a night? And then I'm going to go back to Burlington on a bus from Worcester.
Back up. Can we just back up and imagine a scenario where someone actually does do that? That someone actually does.
Wears jeans to bed
They
when they're
put on like
sad.
arms of an angel and just get into their skinny jeans and then get in bed.
I just want to.
Oh my God.
Like I just need to feel wrapped in a cocoon of my jeans. Great gay sex story.
Thank you.
Really, really good.
Thank
So
you.
funny.
Truly phenomenal. Kate, did you have gay sex this week?
Okay, we have this ongoing thing with like, how do you tell if you're on a date or not? And Ashley is like, shut the fuck up and ask.
Yeah.
And so it was making me remember a time
That you were on a date with me and you wanted to ask me if we were on a date. Because I'll say right now, you didn't ask me. You did not playfully touch me on the arm. You didn't look
I
at,
actually did,
you didn't
remember?
look at my
and
mouth?
you said I
I'm sorry,
said
looking at a mouth is a date thing?
we're like talking, we're having dinner, and I'm like,
Wow, that actually is really intense. You are dangerous. I'm realizing that was like so sexual.
you are dangerous.
I'm sorry, I didn't
That
mean.
was like, wow, okay. Scorpio. Just that subtle eye movement.
Yeah, you're on a date.
Use that in an audition, you will book. They'll be like, so we're going to make it a porn.
It's not an Allstate commercial. It's a porn.
That's what I'll do in my audition to Bob, because it's a Zoom audition. I'll just be looking from the camera down, and they'll be like, "Why does she keep doing that?" Okay, sorry. Continue.
But if you'll recall, when we were on our date, I kept saying, "Nice mouth." No. I'm flashing back to a time that I had several hangouts with this girl, and I still to this day do not know what
Let's
was
call
going
her.
on. We're not calling her.
we're gonna call her,
We are not.
Is she
calling
queer?
her. I don't think so.
Okay.
But
definitely gonna call her now.
okay, this brings up a lot of feelings because before I was out, and before I kind of even knew myself, I was starting to act gay.
Well, yeah.
Can't relate. Cannot relate. Just kidding.
You're like, can't relate. I was starting to act outwardly gay, and kind of was like having trouble catching up to myself and being like, oh, this is gay. And when I say act gay, I don't mean like sitting with my legs spread or like
What you're doing right now.
yeah,
Matching
or
your
any of this.
matching your hat to your shirt to your socks.
I was like,
We're gonna go shopping.
okay, deal. When I say I was starting to act gay, I mean that I was starting to aggressively grind with girls at parties.
Nice.
And then one of those girls I actually did end up kissing, and after that I told my best friend, who was a girl, that we had kissed. But she was the only person who knew besides the girl that I kissed. And so it was like very, very like tight circle. Like I've told one person that like you are the only person who knows this, and I barely know it. Like I know that I kissed her, but I don't know what that means for me.
Right.
And I've shared this with you, my friend. And this
I
other
sense
girl,
disappointment coming.
this other girl who had seen me aggressively grinding with different girls
Aggressively
apart.
grinding.
It's just like grinding how a boy and a girl would grind.
You're behind them.
I'm behind them.
That's so awesome.
So it's not like this like, oh, hey, like we're like attracting a mate from the field by like dancing boob to boob. It's like, oh, we're like dancing with each other, and someone would have to tap me on the shoulder to like
Get involved.
to get involved.
okay.
Not that at like a grinding college party anyone's using ballroom dancing rules. Like,
Pardon.
sorry, my card is full already, sir. But so this other girl had noticed that this girl is a fucking bitch, and she goes up to my friend in a crowd and goes, "Is Kate gay?"
In front of you?
I'm not there.
Okay.
And I guess my friend, you know, she didn't have to tell me this, but she was like, kind of like, instead of just saying no to like protect that secret, with just kind of like gave a little bit of a non-answer.
Well, she shouldn't have been put in that position.
She shouldn't have been. This other girl's a bitch.
And it's very hard to know what to do in that
I've
position.
fully forgiven my friend for this. I'll never forgive that fucking bitch.
This happening now is way less likely because I feel like people understand more about the rules of the closet.
Yeah.
But like back then, I don't think people had any fucking idea
No,
how
totally.
to treat closeted like stuff.
Yeah. So the thing that really makes it unforgivable is my friend kind of gave this non-answer, and this bitch goes, "Come back to me in like 3 weeks," implying that like she knew I was gay and I was like about to come out, and like she knew me better than I knew
Where's
me.
this bitch now?
Or better than my best
Yeah,
friend. knew me.
let's actually dox her. What's her address? I'm gonna fucking show up.
Honestly, maybe this is a clue, but I can't pronounce her name.
Someone just goes to your Instagram and looks at who you're following and is like, I can say that one. Just keeps going.
What's her name? Like xylophone apostrophe?
I know how to pronounce those words.
I know, but I'm
actually.
picking words that look weird.
No, but do you know like where she is in life now? Is
I
she
don't.
like, okay.
I've like fully like just disconnected. Like I have no
Good.
interest in.
She's probably in an MLM.
Oh yeah,
She's probably in an MLM.
yeah. I thought man loving man,
I thought so too. Wait, what did you mean?
multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing.
Oh yes. I was like, she's trans and in love.
Yeah,
He's
she was a
trans.
bitch. She's
He's
probably
trans.
He's trans and in love. Cancelled.
Oh,
I got you.
you got me.
Imagine if you had been like this bitch and I was like, she's probably trans now. Like, imagine if that had been like what I had said. And then you misgender him and that's who you go after. He's probably trans now.
But this is a gay podcast. That means we direct our aggression
Towards our own.
towards our own.
Towards our own.
For, you know, I don't want to say misgendering. Is now I'm afraid they're going to come for me if I'm like misgendering. Oh! Everything's okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't
The
know
audio
anymore.
thing's like, I'm not getting canceled for this shit.
The Zoom recorder
Zoom
is
is
like,
like-
I'm out.
Fuck this.
You said misgendering wasn't that bad, and our sound recorder threw itself to the ground.
The
On
mixer.
International Pronouns Day.
So, okay, wait.
So,
Yeah.
I tell that background story to kind of acknowledge that I experienced firsthand how toxic it can be when people are trying to assign a sexuality to you or publicly guess about your sexuality.
Totally.
Or like say that they know
You listening,
better
Aunt
than-
Robin? Great, keep going.
Say that they know you better than you know yourself. Imply that if you have shared something with a close friend, everyone's entitled to that information, all this stuff. So that's the background to say that like I've experienced that firsthand. So I want to be careful about how I talk about this other girl. Just like so pretty, didn't really like date people. And I think maybe I related to that and was like,
Sure.
oh,
That
like,
makes sense to me.
I think the critical difference here is that she's anonymous in this story.
she is anonymous.
And that is
But
a very...
And you are within your own rights to like explore what you think that was with her.
yes.
And that's not like problematic.
I think the other angle was that other people who were not like interested in her the way I was interested in her would kind of talk in the same way and be like, oh, maybe she's gay. And so I like have this weird thing where
you
it's
don't
like,
want to insult her like that. You don't want to like...
I don't want to insult
you don't
her
want to
like
be
that.
a part of that behavior. But
Yeah.
Kate, like if you had like maybe like a connection with this person, you're allowed to discuss it
I know.
with
I
her
just,
being anonymous.
okay. Anyway,
That being
I
said,
thought
I'd
she
like
was-
to know her
I thought
name.
she. No, I'm not telling you. I thought she was very pretty. We really got along. We like had things in common, but we're different. and we
I've never heard it.
we went out to dinner. Like, hey, would you like to go out to dinner? Yes, I would. Great, I'll pick you up at this time. Like, went out to dinner.
Damn.
You know, banter the whole time, but it's like when you're not. So this goes back to my theory, which I've said before, that every interaction is flirting. Like,
Yeah.
just like you're getting to know each other. Of course, you're like joking and teasing and like asking questions and making eye contact. Like it really is hard sometimes to differentiate between like flirting and just like being nice and getting to know someone and like having a fun time. You're building something, whether you're building like
I'm
a
gonna
potential.
ask one more time if this happened a few nights ago.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to like jump on the bandwagon, but a lot of people have been saying that Ashley Gavin's gay, and I just. But so you're building something, whether you're building like a potential like sexual relationship or a friendship, like you're building something. So I do think sometimes it's easy to confuse.
Totally.
And I was afraid to ask because I was like new to all of this.
Yeah.
And also because I didn't want to
Yeah.
make her think like,
Yeah.
oh, people talk about you and and
you didn't
and
want to
wonder
play
if-
into something that she had been insecure about.
right, and something that I had so
Totally.
recently experienced.
Yeah.
So like I was just afraid to ask if it was and then after the dinner, like she asked me if I wanted some gum, and I was like, I've read Cosmo. I know that means a kiss is coming.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
God.
yes, I'd like some gum, which I was like, see, I've consented to the kiss now. Like, just like such like.
Thinking this is like her version of like, are you a friend of Dorothy? Is like, would you like some gum after dinner?
But
Yes.
that's what they write in Cosmo. I don't know if you've seen it. Like there's all types of like tips like that for like when to know you're about
Cosmo
to get
is like
kissed.
the last thing is like do anything but healthy open communication.
Exactly.
Right.
They're like
Cos-
they're like be mysterious, be alluring, and then fist his fucking ass. They're like,
Exactly. How do you think Ashley learned the mouth glance?
From experience. If a girl
I
looks,
thought you learned
Don't
it
do
from
it again.
Cosmo.
do not do it again.
Jake is like, no, I
Absolutely
can't.
not.
if a girl looks at my mouth, now I'm picturing Jen looking at my mouth for the first time, which was the most wonderful moment of my entire life.
Oh my
But if a
gosh.
girl looks at my mouth, I'm like, I'm fucking in.
Wow.
Okay, anyway.
You've seen her eyes.
I accepted. I've accepted the mint gum. Nothing happens. Later, I'm in a.
Your arms folded. Nothing happened.
Nothing happens to my dismay. Later, I'm in a relationship, a pretty public relationship. Like, it's not a secret that I'm, like, it's not closeted. Like, I'm just, like, clearly, like, with this person, we're together all the time, that kind of thing. I see this other girl one night. It's like a party night, so she's been drinking a little bit. And we're happy to see each other, and I get, like, a kiss on the cheek that is, like,
Oh.
maybe
That's-
1/5 of my lips.
That is fucking hot. Oh my fucking
And so
God.
if I had been single...
Oh my God. This is one of those like closeted, like, did you ever have that? Like, we are getting right up to that line.
Just that moment of like, oh, that was sexual, and I wasn't expecting it, but then
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
If I'd been
Oh.
single, I think I would have taken that to be the moment to just turn my head. And then now it's a real kiss. But I was with someone and I really liked the person I was
Yeah.
with. So I was just like, ha 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 ha, bye. Like, just kind of like
Oh
brush it off.
my God.
So then after that relationship, I'd try like one more time. I clearly really just thought this girl was very pretty. And really nice and funny. Anyway. I'm like mad at my, whatever.
Yeah, you should have gone for it.
I should have gone for
I
it.
have ones like that.
So we're
We
on
all
like,
do.
we're on another, I would say, date together. I'm still like kind of in this, I'm still kind of stuck in this thought where I'm like, oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings by being like, are you gay? Like, are you gay?
So instead, you kiss the corner of her mouth.
No. So I'm like just reading like every single, I'm like am at this point like an editor for Cosmo. Just like
There's
every
19
little.
pieces of gum in your mouth. You're just like,
You want some? I like your mouth. But I'm like trying to pick up on all these like minuscule like body language or like verbal things.
So unhealthy.
And at one point we were like watching TV or something, and we were like lying down, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, like my ass is completely in your way." And she goes, "No, I like the view."
so
And I didn't do anything.
You're fucking useless.
I didn't do
Fumbled.
anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
No, say it a few more times.
I didn't do anything.
Listener, this is a cautionary tale. Just make a fucking move, you little bitch. Do not be the person. Do not be the ass in someone's face.
The one thing I empathize with you not making a move only because if that was how she made her first move, I was like bent over and she said that and then she goes, I like the view, which is like objectively a corny line.
Yeah.
I would not know how
This
to
has been
respond.
going on for months.
Like I would oh, you like that? Like, what would you even say? Like, do you mean because it's like a corny line? Like, it's kind of joking. Like, the pivot from that into like actual sexiness. Like, you're just like in this vulnerable position of being leant over, and where are you gonna be like, oh yeah? Like, it's kind of like it's like on paper, it's like kind of a good move, but then you're left to do a lot of work to bridge it to like
Right?
an actual thing.
She's like, I like the view, so then I just pull my pants down.
what if she was like, no? Like, it's just like I literally am trying to think like what I would do in that moment if that was the first line as the move, and I don't know what line. You'd be fucked. You can't look at her mouth. You're facing the other way. Like, I don't know what I would do.
I really disagree. I would have just accepted for the weird situation that it was, turned around and asked if I could kiss her. That's what I would have done.
All right.
Yeah,
I think I would have. She says, I like the view, and I go, then eat it then.
Look out, I already had ice cream 2 times today.
I'm like chewing a piece of gum with my asshole.
Guys, why am I even here? You guys are just fucking killing it. And I'm
is fun.
so sad.
This is our longest ever.
I know, and I think we should just keep going and
just make it a
segment-
double.
and just make it a double and segue into your having gay sex.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Should we do butt plugs first?
If he want, we have not asked him.
I don't know what any
Oh,
of this
do you want
is.
to? Oh yeah. Well, let's do. Do you want?
I want to do it all.
Okay.
I want to do it all. I don't want to. I want the full experience.
We're starting to do bonus episodes that are Patreon only, where we read stories that the listeners have sent in.
I'm obsessed.
Okay, great.
Called You're Having Gay Sex.
Yes.
Great.
Butt
But-
plugs
but-
is when you take off your pants.
No. Butt plugs is just what we call plugs. But we should do them
Gorgeous.
now so that they're
Yeah.
here.
You were a phenomenal guest.
Thank you.
This was so fun.
This has been so fun.
It's the best
This is-
podcast on the air besides yours coming up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
hoping
plug that again.
my podcast is called Going Out with Jake Cornell. It'll be out depending on when this episode comes out, it might be already out or it'll be out soon.
I
Nice.
can try and arrange it, but to be perfectly honest, I've had 4 difficult podcasting experiences with different people being like, I need it released here.
Oh my God, I don't give a shit. Literally, like, if you like me and want to listen to my podcast, follow me on Instagram and I'll announce when it's
Right,
coming
exactly.
out.
Like
Jake W. Cornell.
All right.
butt plugs.
December 9th at Sour Mouse. More details to be released soon. Please.
That's
come.
Kate's show.
You can be.
It's the second best show in New York City. Although I'll be on it, so it'll be tied for first.
Yeah, you will be on.
I think I'll be on it anyway. You don't have to book me. I don't care.
I already asked you and you said yes.
Great. I'm doing
Whoops.
it. What a wild, chaotic episode.
I'm obsessed.
Listener, as I said earlier, I am post-orgasm right now. Now I've got a little bit of distance of it, and I still feel so great thanks to Fouria. Better sex starts with Fouria. People, they might not think that they need that extra help in the bedroom, but they'll be pleasantly surprised by how much better and more pleasurable their sexual experiences are, and I just had that exact experience. I tried the Awaken Arousal Oil, and it made my self-love session feel more intense, deeper. It was easier to orgasm. The orgasm felt really satisfying, much more satisfying than usual when I'm loving on myself. So go check it out. Fouria has such a serious cult following with tens of thousands of people who've had their sex lives transformed through using their products. And in case you missed it before, Fouria is using all natural and plant-based ingredients to intensify sexual pleasure and relieve discomfort. So yes, you have my permission to try this. I fully endorse you to go ahead and treat yourself to more, deeper, fuller pleasure wherever you can find it as often as possible, and you can start right now with a bottle of Fouria. Fouria is offering a special deal for our listeners. Get 20% off your first order by visiting FouriaWellness.com/Ashley or use code Ashley at checkout. That's Fouria, F-O-R-I-A, wellness.com/Ashley for 20% off your first order. I recommend their Awaken Arousal Oil and their sex oil. That's what I just used. You will thank me later. Get out there and come. Do your best with Fouria. One of the best ways you can support me is by coming to a show. I am coming to Chicago, Bloomington, Indiana, Philadelphia, and every Sunday I have my weekly show in New York City. If you're a patron, you get discounts or free tickets. AshleyGavin.com/tour dates or just AshleyGavin.com and Patreon.com/WHGS. I would love to see you guys there. It's so helpful for me and it's such a good time. If you think this podcast is funny, I cannot wait for you to experience live stand-up comedy. No offense to this pod, I love it, but stand up, you will never laugh harder in your life. And I can't wait to meet you in person. Please come through. AshleyGavin.com.